I think the major highlight today has been the release of the 50
Yeah.
girls, or the escape of 50 of the girls who were abducted at the Catholic school on Friday. And it's brought a lot of, I guess, hope to the parents and the families who are patiently waiting for the authorities to provide an update on the other 250 girls and the 25 who were also abducted earlier on in the week last Tuesday. It is a very depressing situation. I spoken with some of my friends who are in just deep anguish and despair, waiting for updates from the authorities who've promised to do their best to ensure that the children they come back safely. But I mean, it is an ongoing crisis. This is not the first mass kidnapping. It's not the second, and it's most certainly not the third. In the last couple of years alone, we've reported hundreds of school
Horrible.
children being kidnapped since the first incident that brought global attention to the issue. So, I mean, we're at the point where we're asking the authorities critical questions about the effort that they've put in place to protect schools and ensure that children can get an education without fear of kidnapping.
But there is another underlining question here, because the framing is key to understanding, again, the root problem here. Are Christians actually being systematically targeted in Nigeria, or is it this religion-blind resource conflict?
So I think to say that Christians have been victims of the insecurity across the country is correct. But as you mentioned earlier on, so have other communities. Muslims have also been killed. Muslims have also, faced kidnappings and mass abductions, even in this wave of kidnappings as well. So it really is a question of the authorities' efforts to ensure that Nigerian citizen, regardless of your faith or regardless of where you come from or what community you belong to, is entitled to live in their homes in peace and security. Now, we have underlying issues around, farmer-header conflict, where there is an identity aspect to it. Most Christians in some parts of northern Nigeria, where this crisis has unfolded, farmers, as well as on the other hand, most headers are Muslim. So there is that identity, issue in all of the analysis. But to say that Christians alone have been targeted or being killed in these wave of banditry, I think would be isolating, key populations and
just not seeing the problem as it is. So if the U.S. indeed goes in guns a-blazing, as Trump threatened, does that stabilize the region or ignite something even, catastrophically worse?
I think we really have to look at this problem holistically, right? Really looking at what some of the root causes are and really ensuring that we're dealing with the root causes in really trying to ensure that there's peace and security across the country. I mean, there's several different aspects to the issue, whether it's the farmer-header conflict, whether it's the race to ensure that different communities have resources, or whether it's just the failure of the authorities to ensure that there's adequate security, that there's justice and accountability when these sort of kidnapping killings occur. It's a multifaceted issue, and it must be dealt with adequately, holistically. And so Nigeria in the last couple of years has employed a militarized approach to dealing with the crisis and the instability across the region.
To pinpoint that, you can just take part of the problem and make it the entire thing. Ms. Enietie Ewang, Human Rights Watch researcher, thank you very much for joining us tonight to get a better understanding of what is actually unfolding there. Hopefully this crisis will be over very soon. Thank you very much.